Konami Studios.
DCeased Dead Planet issue number 7. This is the grand finale of the major comic book storyline that has been taking DC by storm. And here's how well it's been doing. I completely forgot this book was coming out this week. There's just so many books at DC, and I'll be honest, as much as I love what DCeased has been doing, I'm kind of getting tired of it, so I'm glad we're kind of finally wrapping up the storyline. And I liked the issue. I want to say that right away. I thought it was pretty cool. A lot of things I liked about it. At the same time, it was fine. I don't think it was bad, but it didn't have the emotional or interesting impact I think previous issues have. Look, finales are hard to do. This one did everything I wanted it to, so it didn't disappoint me. I'm just like, it's over. I'm kind of happy it's over because I'd like to see other stories being told now with these characters in them, supposedly. I'd like to see these characters again, but we'll probably never see them because it won't be in a book that's doing as well as DCeased. And that's the sad truth of this book, actually. It's pretty sad. So we learned in the past issue that Zatanna was the one narrating. So she continues to narrate this book to the end. We see that Brisbane, Australia is being destroyed by the Amazo robots, and then the Justice League comes in to fight them. But it's not the Justice League that the Amazos were designed to fight. It's a way more badass team. You know, you got like your Shazammed out Cassandra Cain, you got your Wonder Girl, your Mr. Terrifics, your Green Lantern, Canary, all your cool people here, and they're kicking ass and taking names. And we see somewhere like away from the fight that the Phantom Stranger and Zatanna are overlooking the destruction of Trigon. Like, where's Constantine? He's supposed to be here to kind of be stopping this. And something I want to say, I can't confirm or deny anything really about this book. And I just want to say, out of every issue and like me just thinking about them and going back to certain pages, I think the artwork is more rushed in this book. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not. Maybe they had to change certain things in it, but there's just some pages where there's a distinct lack of detail in the background or in the characters' faces that it doesn't bother me. I just notice it more in this issue than I have in other ones in the genre. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we see Trigon finally notices the Phantom Strangers. They're like, oh, you're not supposed to choose a side. But Phantom Stranger, of course, is like, yeah, well, I did. And it's not with you, dipshit. I like that. I love Phantom Stranger. I have been sitting on a pitch for that guy forever. I just want to write. So DC, if you're interested, I got a Phantom Stranger book for you. You know, could be really fun, but we'll see what happens. So while the world's kind of being destroyed by Trigon and the Amazos, these Super Sons decide they're going to go to the source of the Amazo army and stop Ivo from releasing everything. So they see a bunch of like these scolding destruction of all these people, and they're like, we could have saved them, but Damien's like, we probably couldn't have. Like, they didn't know there was a cure. There's nothing we could do. They're both attacked by a different Amazo robot. They manage to take it down, and they see Penguin standing over into like the bunker still, just like, oh look, it's probably one of the Robins, and you're probably the son of Superman, so that's great. Well, here's the thing. We're gonna kill you. So the guards are gonna kill him, but the guards don't shoot Superman because like, that's fucking Superman. I'm not killing Superman. And you're just like, okay, that's interesting. Okie dokie. So then suddenly, like, Penguin starts to choke, and all the other villains start choking, and you're like, what's going on here? And above them, it's John Constantine floating overhead using all his combined powers, just like, yeah, well, I needed to do this because, you know, I needed that extra, like, little oomph to get to the fight with Trigon, and these guys all deserve to die, so your dad won't, like, think bad of anything that happened here, so there's no, like, hardships on your conscience there, John Kent, you're good. And Constantine's like, well, I gotta go now. Take care, John. You're fun. Have a good time. Just kind of like, I'm out of here. And I saw the future. I know if you go to fight Trigon, you're going to die, John, so you can't go. And we probably get my favorite moment of the book in this page too, where you see Constantine's about to fly away, but John's looking up to him like, you know, you're a good man, John Constantine. And this is like my favorite dialogue in the entire book. It's just Constantine like, I'm really not, but I'm not going to lie. It's nice to hear that from a Superman. And you're like, that's cool. That was really nice to me. For reading this book, I understand how Tom Taylor gets his HellBlazer Rise and Fall book. I really get that. I still don't think he gets the character completely, but I understand how reading this, you would see how he gets to that book. I understand that part. So we see that Ivo was also killed, probably from something the Penguin and the other villains did, just so like their failsafe wouldn't fall through. But they're like, we got to take one of the heads of the robots, and maybe we can like use Cyborg to do something with it to infect all the other robots, another virus spreading and all that kind of stuff. So they take one of the Amazo heads back to Cyborg, and they got this plan in place. Like, we're curing the vaccine. We're going to be distributing this virus or the Amazos. I'll shut them off, and I think that's pretty cool. What great timing that we are seeing like a virus being rushed out to the general public by two super people, a Superman and a Flash, when we're still in the middle of a pandemic. You're like, this is like the hopeful part of the book for me that makes me go, oh, that's nice. I like that. So we see, Wallace is running through the streets. He's just injecting a bunch of people. Superman's flying overhead of crates full of the serum, and they're saving everybody. And finally, John Constantine has come to fight Trigon. And he's like, all right. He gives the Spear of Destiny to Zatanna, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go do something crazy. So he just stands there. They're like on the edge of their seat, just ready to fight. And you just see John just like beats him, just decks the guy. And that's even what Zatanna says, because John just uses the power of everything he's gotten, like the Dr. Fate helmet, all his own powers, the stuff from Ragman, the power of a Shazam, all that shit. He's just going crazy, and it's still not enough. He's using enough of his powers to potentially defeat Trigon, but it's not enough. He just gets wrecked, and he dies. He straight up dies, and we see all of our other heroes are getting their asses kicked by some Amazos. It's not doing well enough, but they got to get that cure into the Amazo virus, and they supposedly do it, and all the Amazos start to shut down, and they're winning. It's a good ending. It ends on a hopeful note, which I really liked. I liked seeing that part of the book, and because they know the world's being cured and the Amazos are done, we see that John Kent is going to go fight Trigon, even though he's probably going to die in the process. But he's still doing his best. He's still doing his best to fight him because he's Superman. And isn't that the crux of every Superman book? Because he's Superman. I know some people don't like that, where Superman's just able to do everything. I like it. I think it adds something to his character, so I like that he's just able to take down Trigon. And we see that that John Constantine, in a very John Constantine move, he killed Deadman for a reason. Because now he's the dead man, and he takes the power, and he's going to go inhabit the body of Trigon. So we see him enter Trigon's head and just stab himself in the chest with the Spear of Destiny. You're like, okay, that is a very John Constantine thing to do, but because he does that, his soul does die, so he says his goodbyes to Z. And you're just like, okay, I can get behind that ending. I could see how some people might not like it, but that's a very John Constantine thing to do. I think it worked pretty well, and if he's going to spend eternity in hell, well, at least he'll have Trigon to bitch around for a bit, so I think that's pretty fun. And you see Wallace is just tired and he's exhausted for saving all these people, but he stops, and the rest of the Justice League supposedly go to save everyone. And you're like, oh, this is a nice wrap-up. And we get a couple more pages here just seeing people we're saving. Mara and Garth are saved. Hippolyta's saved. Papa Kent is saved. John saves him. And Oliver is saved. And you're like, aw, what a hopeful note to end on. And I'm just like, that's really nice. So everyone who's died saved, that wasn't obliterated, blown up, or anything destroyed. And we just end on the page with Oliver and Dinah kissing. And I like it. I'm like, this is fun. That's a nice enough ending where I'm not pissed about it or I'm not angry that it exists. I'm also just thinking, okay, we're done. I don't really feel like the emotional stakes in this finale that I was hoping for. Not like the end of the first DCeased book or even of Unkillables. I don't think it had those like oomph endings that we felt with those. The world saved, everything's back together. So I like that about it, I guess. It's nice, but at the same time, it didn't leave me thinking I got a good conclusion or I didn't get a good conclusion. It just left me going, oh yeah, DCeased ended. Okay, that's cool. Let's get on to the next project by Tom Taylor. And I want to say this. I don't really talk about things I don't like in comic books that much in terms of the stuff that's coming out, but DC, I get it. He sells a lot, but not every writer you hire has to write a frickin' Batman book. You got like 5 different titles coming out in April alone under the Batman guys. I'm like, just don't. I don't need that many. I could think of a bunch of other characters Tom Taylor should write, like Green Arrow, but it's like, okay, whatever. It's a good ending. I think a lot of people will like it. It got some good Constantine moments. It got some good John Kent Superman moments. But I'm just thankful it's done because I'm getting tired of it. I felt tired of it. I didn't even remember it was coming out. There's just too much other stuff for me to think about that didn't rise to the top of something that kept my interest. So, it's cool. The artwork looks a little rushed in some places, but when you could see the moments where they got everything done they wanted to, and I think that's what matters. So, it's fine. I think it's a really fine ending. It'll make a lot of people happy, and it's worth your money. So, DCeased Dead Planet, issue number 7, the grand finale, supposedly for the DCeased brand, I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.